You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Haydn, and as always, I'm joined by Steve. Steve, how are you?
Half asleep, mate. I'm surprised I'm here now, to be honest. I think I would have fallen asleep in the intro.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try and keep it interesting to keep you awake in that case, then. So what have you been doing, Steve, that's making you so tired?
Not gaming with Destiny at the minute, I know that for sure. Because I've been too...
Yeah, that I know, yeah.
No, I haven't been doing... I've been tired. I've been doing some more house stuff over the weekend.
Yeah.
Like finding the loft for the first time and getting the Christmas decorations in the loft, and I think, what's the point? But anyway, I did. So we're not going to be putting them up yet.
Yeah. Well, if you were looking for it, it's generally at the top of the house.
Yeah, in a little hole when you got big boxes to fill. It was just... Yeah, them going today. So...
Well, so it was all boarded out then, the loft?
A little bit of it was. We had enough to get rid of what we needed up there anyway, which was the main thing.
That's all right.
Work's changed a little bit now because I'm on call not once every 5 weeks, once every 8 days.
Okay.
So I'm on call every 8th day in the calendar.
Right.
So during the week, it shouldn't be too bad because I can do what I have to do to get through the night.
Mm-hmm.
But when it becomes a weekend call out, a weekend day, that's when life will get interesting because I will be out all day long for sure because of a few new contracts. So I'm not sure when the Sunday hits. There is one. We'll have to play that by ear.
Well, I'm sure that we'll either record another night or do what we did when you were away.
Don't shout too loud, but I'm not sure about next Sunday yet, but I can talk to you about that later on the Facebook. Then. Quite.
Yeah.
But that's that. Yeah, so I've just not been doing a great deal. A little bit of gaming with the Postman. So I've been playing some of that this afternoon. It's in Death Stranding.
Oh, you got that, did you?
Yeah.
And not Star Wars?
No.
Okay, I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on it.
It's bizarre to say the least, but yes, so I've been doing that. I've got a few vinyl I've ordered, and they were reducing the shipping for 24 hours. Yeah,
only $10 for us.
Yeah, well, that's all right, that's fine. But I have picked up a new pressing for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Right.
Double album in some weird and wonderful colours. And I think that's going to include the original score.
Right.
Which I've got my original album, which is all the orchestral stuff that was done via these composers that are all dead by now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that'd be interesting to come out. And also, in one package I've got 2001: A Space Odyssey. I have got Nightmare on Elm Street, which is the original 80s start of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I have got Silent Hill 1, the PlayStation soundtrack, and Silent Hill 2, PlayStation soundtrack. So they're winging their way as we speak at the moment. Also, I pre-ordered, and it won't be out till December, is a 3-album live recording of the score from Lost, the TV show.
Right.
So, and that's done by Michael Giacchino, whatever his name is. So that'd be interesting to hear that. I do love the show, and that'd be a nice addition to have that in its little box set that it comes in.
That we could do that as a special one day. What was the ending of Lost all about?
I would need to find if I've still got them somewhere around to rewatch the series, or at least watch some of it. You know.
Yeah.
And at some point, I did have a load of them somewhere scattered around digitally. So I'll have to have a look into that. But yeah, so I've got those coming as well. I haven't bought my headphones yet. I'm still looking into those for nighttime listening.
Mm-hmm.
So it is Black Friday coming this Friday, isn't it? Is it this Friday coming?
It's either this one or the next Friday. I can't remember.
They keep advertising already, so I'm sure it must be close.
Yeah.
So we'll see what I can get with that. Maybe we never know.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. So Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday is the end of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, because it normally coincides
with Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Yeah, just couldn't get that out then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. So yes, not a great deal. How about yourself? Because we haven't spoken since probably this time last week.
No. What have I been doing? Well, been getting my house ready still. Just emptying it at the moment. It's an incredibly long job to go through.
Did you get a skip as well to do this or not?
For the first time I got a skip. And I got one of the 8-yard skips. Yeah. And I had it filled to the brim in 2 hours, and I hadn't even made a dent. Mm-hmm. And then I got some house clearers in to get rid of a lot of the stuff from the garage and a lot of the clothes. Which I've got to say, those guys worked really hard. They shifted everything. They were really good. I was really happy with the service that they gave. And, what they do is, so they say, is that they take things like clothes to charity shops and stuff like that. Right. I'm bearing in mind that there was 2 of them working for like 6 hours, and then another 2 came along and were working another hour and a half each. That was just to clear out clothes. God. My parents, particularly my mother, hoarded clothes. Yeah. And a lot of them were brand new, never been worn. Stuff that she'd bought, put away for best. Yeah. And then, because she lost a lot of weight as time went on, they were too big for her, but she wouldn't get rid of them because she'd bought them when they were brand new and they might come in. Sort of thing. That kind of situation. But, my mother was a large lady, and she went very small over the last few years, and it was just sort of like she was never going to go back into some of them. Yeah. But, so, just sorting out a house, and a lifetime full of memories, especially when it's a house that you grew up in as a child, is quite difficult. Yeah, and even, I suppose, I don't know how you missed Jane took it. She must have been. Did she sort of keep it, let you get on with it and didn't get involved, or? No, she gets involved. We go together normally to do it. Because it is a bit daunting otherwise. Yeah, I should imagine. Yeah, but needs to be done because I want to try and get the house ready to go on the market for renting in about February. Because in February, my wife is supposed to be having an operation on her foot. So she's going to be out of commission. So I want to try and get everything done in the house before then. It's not an ingrown toenail, is it? No, it's Morton's new Roma. I was just thinking of Basil Fawlty when he went in one of the episodes when he went in for an ingrown toenail for his missus. Yeah. And she kept hassling him while he was at home in the hotel. Just imagine it. You get all these phone calls. Have you done this job? Have you done that job? Yeah. Yeah. No, it's it's just one of those things. And also, once you once you have the house, it starts to cost you money as well. So, I don't want to be paying out for 2 lots of electric, 2 lots of gas, 2 lots of council tax, because I can't afford to run 2 houses, one of which is just empty. No, it's council tax is horrendous at the best of times. It is, and plus the fact that that house is in a category above the one I'm in, so it cost me a lot more money. So soon you get it sorted to get it out and lease it out to someone or whatever. Yeah, then I can start getting income from it. And pay for all of the, thousands of pounds that I'm upgrading the house with as well, because it's been left for years. So, say this week, just had new electric garage door put on. I mentioned that last week. But also 2 new UPVC doors as well. They cost quite a bit of money, just as it is. But I've got to get a new roof put on the conservatory, which is going to build it in. So it's not going to be a glass roof. And then put in radiators into the conservatory as well, so it could be like a garden living room, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of plan. So just have, it's all time, it's all cost, but hopefully all of the building work will be done before Christmas, and then over Christmas I'll be doing decorating.
Yeah. Joy.
Yeah, because I've got the house is wallpapered throughout, but what I'm going to do is take it all off and paint all of the walls.
Yeah.
And get new carpets right throughout, all exactly the same carpet all the way through. That's what the estate agents advised. So, because people like to put their mark on things, don't they? And they just want a blank shell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the plan. I'll have to wait and see if it works. But, I think what's frustrating is it's like 30 minutes away. So that is enough to make it a considered nip over. It's not like it was the next village or town, because then I would just go over, do a bit and come back. But when it's 30 minutes away, you have to think, right, I'm going to go then because it's an hour round trip. That's before you've done anything else. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's frustrating. Yeah. But other than that, picked up an Amazon Echo 5.
Well, I've got a couple of questions about Echo later. I'm going to talk about them because...
Yeah.
We could do it now. I'm going to set mine up back again, because obviously when I plugged it back in, it's got the old Wi-Fi settings. Yeah. So I had to connect to my Wi-Fi to connect to the Echo to give it the new details, then to connect back to my Wi-Fi. Okay?
Yes.
I've got some new LED lights. They're actually in on the Wi-Fi as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got my TV connected to its own Echo, theoretically, as well, because it's got that integrated.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go to my Echo and I say, for example, Alexa, turn on the lights, for example, it works fine.
Yeah.
Well, what happens is when I ask a question, I don't get any voice from the Echo.
Have you connected your Echo to your Hi-Fi?
No, the Hi-Fi will be turned off, so it wouldn't even be connected. Because I thought that might have been trying to connect to my old speaker system in the lounge. I then thought, well, okay, it might be, so therefore I said to disconnect from Bluetooth, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't get it to talk to me.
Is it an Echo Dot?
Yeah, second generation, is it? I think
that they had an out cable. You haven't forgotten that you've plugged it into the back into your amp.
No, this one hasn't. This one's never had an out cable. It just goes into just the power up. That's all it has.
Oh, right, okay.
So it might be even the third generation. I don't know, but yeah, just don't talk to me. And when I ask it to play music, it won't play music out of it either. But I can talk.
Have you told it to put the volume up to maximum?
I can push the button to do that on the top. Then you've got the lights goes around the circle and the circumference.
Yeah. So it's hearing you, it's just not replying.
Well, I don't know if it can hear me turn the lights on, and I say then, what's the weather? It doesn't. It starts to flash, but it's not talking to me. It's just odd. Then when I go into my app, I can see I've got that Alexa. Everything's online.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get it. I really don't. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, that is strange.
And I don't know what else to try it as yet at the moment. But yeah, it's just odd. Very frustrating when I want to use it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I think it's connected now. So Alexa, turn Steve's lights off. Oh no, it's unplugged, so it won't. I've unplugged it deliberately, but yeah, so forget that. So,
right,
if anyone's called Steve, sorry your lights are off. Anyway, do you want to run?
I thought you'd called your Alexa a computer anyway.
No, that was for something else, no.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Well, in that case then, shall we go on to gaming this week?
Yep.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so gaming this week, and this week we had XO19 with some quite big announcements on there. Did you see it, Steve?
I caught the tail end of it, but unfortunately I was too busy to actually sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I think I might have even been out on the road for a bit longer that day as well. So I heard about there was going to be a load of game release, well, not game releases, but a load of stuff going to be going to the Game Pass. That's as much as I know. And
xCloud as well. In a matter of fact, I've got the list of everything that's going to be happening. So,
okay.
Big updates to Project xCloud. Microsoft announced that it would be adding an extra 50 games to the service from 25 different partners. But also, xCloud will be available on Windows 10 PCs in 2020 and will also support additional gamepad manufacturers' controllers.
Right.
So you can play an Xbox game with a PlayStation 4 controller.
If that's how you float your boat.
Yeah, exactly. So there's 50 new games coming to Xbox Games Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, right now, Age of Empire 2 Definitive Edition, Age of Wonders Planet 4, which has only not long been released, Hearts of Iron 4 Cadet Edition, Lego Ninjago Movie, Tracks the Train Set Simulator, so I thought that would be one for you there, Steve, because I know you like a bit of...
Choo-choo!
Yeah. Rage 2, which is a good game.
Well, yeah, that's a Bethesda game from memory serves.
It is, yes, and I've played it.
Okay.
Remnant from the Ashes, and the Talos Principle, which is a great sort of puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of levels in it. And then to be rolled out, starting from next month right through to 2020, there is Carrion, Crisis Tales, Cyber Shadow, Darksiders 3, Double Kick Heroes, Drake Hollow, Edge of Eternity, Forager, Haven, It Lurks Below, Levelhead, Life is Strange 2 episodes 4 and 5, My Friend Pedro, Pandemic, this is where the big announcement is, Final Fantasy franchise including 7, 8 remastered, 9, 10 HD remastered and 10 2 HD remastered, Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age 13 and Final Fantasy 13 2 and Lightning's Return Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I have about 7 of those, I think. Rough 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've got about 7 of those I actually own between the PlayStation and the Xbox at the moment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyone that I haven't got, I should definitely have a look at those.
Yeah, definitely. So there's going to be, and also that's on both the console and the PC for both of them as well. There's Fogs, She Dreams Elsewhere, Skatebird, Streets of Rage 4, Scourgebringer, Supraland, Tekken 7, Touhou Lunar Nights, The Escapist 2, The Red Lantern, The Red Strings Club, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Vambrace, Cold Soul, West of Dead, Yakuza franchise, this is the other big one, so that includes Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2. Kiwami, sorry.
It's okay. No, yeah, I've got a couple of those on the PlayStation.
Yeah, well, I've got Yakuza 0 on the PC. Not played it, I don't think. I played it a little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
Rare is developing a game called Everwild, which is a new IP.
I saw the trailer for that. That was near the tail end of it, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. There's going to be Black Friday deals on Xboxes. I think that they were on about, in America, the Xbox One was going to be something like $150.
Mm-hmm.
There's Tell Me Why was revealed, which was Don't Nod Entertainment, the studio behind Life is Strange, revealed its narrative adventure Tell Me Why, which the big news for it is it's the first playable video game hero from a major studio publisher who's transgender.
Right.
You sounded excited there, Steve. Not. Right.
You said 37, I'm counting. You get it.
And then Grounded was also revealed, which is Obsidian Entertainment's first-person co-op survival game coming spring on Xbox One through Xbox Game Preview and Games Pass.
Yeah, I think I saw the interview for that when they were talking about because they originally did obviously Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I do apologise I was counting. The reason I was counting, right, was I've just gone on to the Game Cloud. I'm in the beta for.
Mm-hmm.
And there's about 50 games on there now to play. So they are up. So if you're in the beta, I mean, the first two there, you've got Absolver and Ace Combat 7 there in front of me.
Yeah.
So Controller out later on. I should have sneaked it in here now and played while we're talking, but I won't do that.
Yeah, so lots of things coming in terms of Xbox.
Interesting what they're coming up with.
Hmm.
I know we have. I think personally, the Xbox is actually just heading a bit in front for the sort of initiative they're going into with this.
I think that they're coming out fighting for the next gen.
Yeah, I should think so.
Yeah.
But did they reveal any name for Scarlet or not? They didn't, did they?
No.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting year next year.
Yeah. And with E3 looming in June next year before as well, I think we'll know before then, to be honest.
Yeah. It'd be a bit late in June if they're releasing it in November.
Yeah, they might have a May conference to show the console off, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. But we'll see. They might even wait till June to show it off. And then say, coming on the, and then give the exact date for holiday. So, yeah, interesting. Long way to go yet. There's a lot of games to come out before then as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a few games delayed as well.
Do you know which ones?
I think it was The Last of Us.
Yeah, that one has been delayed. Mentioned that the other week.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I'm way behind here, aren't I? Anyway.
You really need to catch up on the show when you're not here.
I'm back to the future.
I don't know. You go and do your moonlighting on another show, but you don't keep up with what we're doing on this show.
Well, I don't listen to myself talking. That's the problem.
Well, you didn't have to when you weren't here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't listen. I don't, don't even go there. That's from the moonlighting point of view, it gives a lot of advertisement, I can tell you that.
I know.
Anyway.
Do you want to do the new releases?
Okay, so we have Football Manager 2020, PC and Stadia coming out on the 19th of this month. We've got Shenmue 3, PS4, PC, also on the 19th. For the 21st, we've got Asterix and Obelix XXL 3, The Crystal Miner, on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch and PC. For the 22nd of this month, we have Sigmar Civilization 6, PS4 and Xbox. We've got Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts, PS4, Xbox and PC. And the last one here, we've got Zumba Burn It Up on the Switch, which will be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, that I thought that would be the one that would be getting you to buy a Switch.
You're right.
Anyway, we don't know what the games are for next month yet because we're only halfway through the month, but there is the Epic's game launcher, and at the moment the Messenger is currently free, and then the next game, which will be free from the 21st up until the 28th, is Bad North, which I think that's either on Xbox or PlayStation already. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Steve, what have you been playing then?
Well, I'm not going to talk about Destiny because I don't think I've played it a little bit, but not a great deal.
Let's face it, you're not going to talk about Destiny because you know I'm way further on the season now.
No, it doesn't even bother me. I mean, I've moved. I was without the console for quite a few days, so But I think we got a few more days left before the season ends.
Yeah, we have. We got a couple of weeks of doing the Season of the Undying with the Season of the Undying with the Warmind on the Vex Offensive starting next week, haven't we?
Is that with the portal open, which is being built at the moment, probably?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, we got the Halloween thing finishes Tuesday as well. So I've got a load of coins to just spend on that.
Yeah, and you'll never guess what I've been doing in Destiny.
Go on. I haven't a clue.
Crucible.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I thought you criticised me for playing it. And why have you been doing Crucible? Is it because you realise that it's a great way of levelling up?
No, I'm already at maximum level.
No, you can still carry on though.
Yeah, I know. I can go on to, short of doing pinnacle gear, I'm at the maximum level that I can be.
Yeah.
Other than levelling up on the season pass, so I am now, 965.
Yeah.
Because my what do you call it, the token thing that you get, you know what I mean, the artifact is 15 levels up,
right?
So that the gaps between each level are getting increasingly more
difficult.
Yeah, but no, I actually thought I thought I'll have a go at Control. And then I was watching something and it said, at the moment, it's momentum control. And the difference in that is, effectively speaking, if you're rocking a scout rifle like the Jade Rabbit, then it's effectively a one-hit kill, against your enemy, if you do a headshot.
Oh, what? Just with that one weapon? Surely not.
Yeah, just for that. Well, I don't know if I think it's just, high impact scout rifles, basically.
Yeah.
Or any high impact weapons, because the power of the weapons is increased significantly in momentum control.
Right.
And this finishes at the end of, the reset. But then they bring Mayhem back, which is actually the one mode in Crucible I do like. Because you just keep triggering your super. Yeah. And anyway, I've been playing and I've been getting anywhere from between, drawing even on my kill to death ratio to 2 or 3 times my kill to death ratio on it. Mm-hmm. I think that the best point was I had about 6 kills all in a row, within about 10 seconds.
Was that with, when there's 6 people playing, was it? Or
yeah, it's 6v6. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was good, and of course, it's all going towards Randy's throwing knife.
Yeah, my Randy throwing knife. I've got to get bow shots and sniper rifles, I think, or precision kills.
Really?
For me, yeah.
I thought the Randy's throwing knife was supposed to be scout rifles.
No, mine said bow as well. I'm sure it did, because I started playing there's the mode on the moon, top right, where you got all the nightmares all come out and it goes mental.
No, Randy's throwing knife is a Crucible quest.
Oh, sorry. I mean, well, the thing I was doing was something to do with knives, but maybe it's something different. I don't know.
Yeah, Randy's throwing knife is a gun.
Oh, okay. No, I was doing something else, I think. I can load Bungie, but they're not loading very well at the moment. Yeah,
well, I've been doing that and I'm about 25% of the way through. Mm-hmm. But it is slow progress. Yeah. But what I'm intending on, because I couldn't believe this, I actually completed the Ace of Spades
quest. Was that?
I know. Well, that was when Destiny 2 first came out. Mm. But I'd never... No, it wasn't. It was when it's 2-year-old, isn't it? Because it was when the first expansion came out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd never completed it because you had to do Crucible steps.
Mm.
And I just thought, I don't care. So, yeah, it came as a bit of a shock when I actually completed that one, to be honest. I thought, oh, okay, I can go on to the next stage.
Yeah, because there's all sorts of other ones relating to Crucible that you sort of walked away from, didn't you? Sort of shied away from them, so...
Well, yeah, and that's why I've decided that what I'm going to do this week is concentrate on Crucible so that I can get the Thorn.
Yeah, I've got that, yeah.
Yeah.
The last part of the quest is a bit of a difficult one, though.
What is the last part of the quest?
I think the last part, you've got to go and do a strike with 3 people.
Right.
And when you get to the end of the strike, you've got to kill in a certain way the main enemies to trigger it.
Okay.
Remember rightly, but yeah. But wait till you get to that point, we'll see.
But it'll do matchmaking anyway, won't it?
I think so. I mean, I think at the time I did it, I don't think they had matchmaking, I can't remember now, but I did it with a couple of guys and we did it on the second run, so
yeah.
That was quite good.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you with what you've been playing, so you were going to tell us about Postman Simulator.
Yeah, this walking simulator. It's one of the most drop-dead gorgeous games I've ever seen on my TV.
Yeah.
I've got to say that.
The environments look very realistic until you get to cities.
Well, they look like any of the other game, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, any sort of science fiction genre. But, I just over the first few minutes of it, I just couldn't believe how good it looked. The sound is incredible in it. It's weird that the baby that you have in your pouch is crying from your controller.
Yes, and you've got to rock your controller to soothe the baby.
Yeah, well, my baby is in dire need of re-energising at the minute, but we'll get on to that in a minute. But yeah, so interestingly, wanted your date of birth at the start, and if it did, it said, I can't remember what it said now. It was on about that you were born in a certain, depending on what you came under, whether it was Cancer or Libra or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm Gemini, so I don't understand what it really meant. But it didn't really mean much to me. But that's by the by. But the way this typical Hideo Kojima's intro to a game, that the credits take about an hour to get to.
Yeah.
Some beautiful music in it.
Yeah.
Some which I've now found when you go to your resting place and you can go and just toggle the music.
Yeah, you can.
And get an achievement for it as well, if it floats your boat. It's nice to see the act. I mean, we already knew who was going to be in this, as in with some of the big guns of actors and directors within this. Obviously, with Mikhail Madsen, and the Bionic Woman, as we'll call her,
Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah, and the
Norman Reedus.
and the director of
Del Toro.
Shape of Water. Yeah. So with all that, and actually, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how far I'm actually in. Without spoiling it, I would say I've had to go to a cremation area.
Yeah, that's where you take Lindsay Wagner's
Well, I wasn't
body.
going to say that, but there you go. You've already said it now. Anyway,
it's one of the first couple of missions when you start the game.
So I've done all that, and I'm now going out on my own with ladders and ropes. I come across an area where I was supposed to go, where I got hammered by the what we call it, the black tar and all that. Where it kicks off.
You got hammered? What? Did you die?
No, I survived.
Right.
But the baby was crying his eyes out. And Yoda was running around wondering what was going on. He could hear it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard a baby cry in my house for years, I tell you. So I've got to a point in the game where I unloaded the stuff I had, but I'm so knackered at this point. I did put some stuff into the private stash area. But I can't go to rest because it's asked me to take some of the other stuff I've got to another area, which I missed because I got so freaked out with what was going on in the game. I ended up getting to the further point, but it's another stop, halfway point between the two stops I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I think I've got to dig out what's in my my private stash pouch area and then go to the other area. But the baby's really not happy.
No.
So I don't know what happens if the baby dies, or baby as we'll call it, but we'll see. But other than that, it's Yeah, it's one I think I can play for a long time, even if I do give it a break.
I think you'll have to, because it's at least 40 hours to complete.
60, I think some people have said. But overall, it's interesting how it's going. I like the idea of Hideo Kojima and how he's actually nuts, that guy. Sometimes some of the things he comes up with.
Yeah. So have you got the number 1s and number 2 grenades?
No weapons yet.
Yeah, well, you get those because you do.
I've been to number 1s and number 2s. But no, I haven't got any weapons as yet at the moment.
Yeah,
but
I've never actually had to control a video game character who was peeing before.
Well, I did it in the shower when you first go in there.
Yeah.
But you can do it in the water, can't you, outside? But I think you're going to drink that anyway, so I didn't want to do that. So why you need to have a wee while you're out, I do not know. I've not got that bit yet. I don't get it.
That'll be the call of nature, isn't it?
Well, possibly. Depends how much water you drink, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a fantastic looking game. I love it. I know it's had a bit of a rough ride, but it's had a lot of great reviews.
Have you come across other people's things that they've left in the world?
Yeah, I found a couple of bits and pieces which I took and then got to their designated area for dropping off, and found some ladders and steps left by people.
Yeah.
So if you give this game a wide berth for about 6 months, you'll be able to cruise this game. If there's going to be loads of ladders and ropes everywhere.
I think that they will limit how much you get access to be honest.
But yeah, I do get this game now. I've been listening to a few different reviews on podcasts, thinking what the hell is this all about. But to be honest, out of this and Star Wars, I think I've chosen the right game to choose. Now you're going to tell me something differently, aren't you?
Well, no, you choose whichever one that you want to go for.
No, but what I mean, you're going to let me know what you think of Star Wars Jedi.
Yes.
And then to say whether or not I made the right choice. Depending on you playing both.
Yes.
So, what was it like?
Okay, Jedi Fallen Order then. So this takes place 5 years after the events of the Revenge of the Sith and the obviously infamous order of Order 66, which destroyed the Jedi. So, while the Jedi are now all but destroyed, but at least one remains in the form of Cal Kestis, who's a former Padawan. Events happen at the beginning of the game, which force him to reveal his Force powers, and he only narrowly escapes the Empire's Inquisitors with the help of two mysterious individuals. So if you don't know who the Inquisitors are, these were brought in the Star Wars Rebels as basically Dark Force users who were hunting out, reports of Jedi, basically. So Cyril and a reluctant green alien named Grease whisk your character Cal off a way to basically rebuild the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So a lot of the gameplay is about going between different planets to complete main story objectives and side quests, get new skills, and as well as finding different things to decorate your ship, to decorate yourself, to change the look of your droid, BD1, and also to change your lightsaber. The game gives quite a lot of freedom to you as a player, while keeping a level still quite tight for any choreographed sort of sequences to go through. The way I would liken the gameplay is it is very similar to Dark Souls in the fact of when you've emptied an area, when you sit down at the the respawn point, but at a checkpoint to register that, the combatants in each area respawn.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep killing them over and over again. Then some parts of the game are a bit like Ultimate rock climbing simulator, otherwise known as Uncharted. Some bits are a bit like Tomb Raider in terms of the puzzles for you to complete. And then there's this sort of like Metroid level design as well, all part of it. So they've all sort of like fused into one game. There's a good combat system. Watching some of the moves that you pull off with the lightsaber is absolutely great. You can do things like deflect bolts back at people as well by, timing. If you do a parry at the right time, then you can trigger sort of like for want of a better term, it's not a cutscene, but sort of like an animated sequence of you doing a special kill on someone. The areas are absolutely gorgeous in terms of the way that they look. The music is great, and it's got a really good level design across the whole thing, which gives you a good balance between exploration and challenge.
Okay.
So one thing that you do have to do is, especially when the groups get larger, is think about how you approach things, because you can't just rush in and start hacking away.
Is this the same way like you do with Spider-Man, for example? That's one of the sort of games you sort of similar sort of combat idea, I should imagine. Yeah.
So figure out how you're going to get through different crowds, because while you can deflect bolts from a while away, the problem that you will have is there will also be guys charging at you with electrified batons, which will hurt you. So what you've got to do is figure out how you're going to get rid of the ones who are going to shoot you from a distance and the ones who are going to be close up quarters, and separate them out a little bit.
Okay.
So you have to figure all of that out. There is environmental puzzles around, a lot of them more focus on your mobility and the timing of the use of your force powers than anything else, but that does feel quite Tomb Raider-ish,
right,
in the way that it works. As you play, you pick up XP, which eventually turns into skill points, and then what you can do is use those skill points when you get to a sort of like meditation area, that you can then buy new powers and new abilities through selling off your perks, basically, not your skill points to buy it, much like you do in any other game.
Yeah.
The skill tree is set up into force powers, lightsaber, and survival. So those are the sort of like three main branches. I've heard you can't actually get all of the powers, but what you can do is unlock the majority of them.
Can you recycle your tree?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so. I've not tried, to be honest. Now, what might put a lot of people off with this is if it's a Dark Souls-esque kind of gameplay, does that mean that it's going to be really hard and it's not going to be enjoyable?
Would you then, depending on what level, how you want to play the game, if you're with me?
Yeah, there's different difficulty levels. So if you're not confident in playing sort of like a Souls-style game, you don't have to go to Jedi Grandmaster level. There is just a mode for story level, which basically takes out all challenge of the game. Jedi Knight is a nice even paced sort of thing, or you can do Jedi Master.
To be honest, would you class them as easy, hard?
Easy, normal, hard, and very hard.
Yeah, okay.
Now most of the time I tend to play games on normal. Not bothering with very easy, because it's just, very easy.
Well, then again, is this the sort of game, would you say you would repeat play?
Probably not. I think it's a great experience for a bit of Star Wars storytelling that is not in the main channels of the canon, but is still canon.
Yeah.
It's giving you someone else's history that's not related to the Skywalkers.
Okay.
You can change your lightsaber. You can pick up different things that are in boxes scattered all over these different planets. And you can actually build a double-ended lightsaber as well.
Yeah. Is any loot boxes in the game?
No. There's no loot boxes or anything to be paid for on it.
Okay.
It's the game.
I'm very disappointed, though, because I am going to now cancel EA Access. Because I still had it going at the moment. And the reason I had it going was I was hoping to get 10 hours of playing this game.
Yeah.
And EA, in their wisdom, decided to say the excuse for not putting this in with every other game is that it might spoil it for others. So they can shove this where the sun don't shine with EA. I'm really pissed off with them because the idea of EA Access was to have the access to games either early or for a limited time to have it make your decision on whether or not you buy these games.
Yeah.
And they've now gone back on that now, so they can shove it, I tell you.
Well, I'd already cancelled EA Access because I didn't see the point in having EA Access, which was mainly sports games.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I used to play them, but I don't at the moment. But the point is that the only thing for being EA Access, in brackets, you get a few quid knocked off the game, and with a few in-game items, which are probably just cosmetic anyway.
Yeah.
But I just think EA stink for doing this. I really do. I don't know how much, because I only found this out about a few days ago, but I think it might have come out a bit earlier than that. But honestly, mate, they're wrong. So wrong in doing this.
Well, I think EA have been backed up into a bit of a corner with this game, because I think if this game had failed, EA would no longer be doing Star Wars as a franchise.
Yeah, but surely to get the game out there, if they're what's the word? If they are happy with their product that they're giving to the public, and they think it's a winner, why not throw it on there? Or if not, give them 10 hours, give them the first level or the first introduction of the game with 20, 30, 40 minutes, and then that would maybe entice them to purchase the game.
Yeah, I think that they've done it on other games because they've given you the 10 hours, and then you could...
Every other game had it.
Yeah, but on certain games like Battlefield, where there's a story, they've limited it to 1 or 2 levels in the 10 hours, and then you could play multiplayer. There is no multiplayer in this.
It's just a story-driven game.
Yeah.
So, come on, I'm just... Yeah. That's another reason why I didn't think I was going to get it. I thought, well, sod you can shove it then. You're losing me as a customer big time here. I'm not giving you my money for a subscription service where I could spend that elsewhere and get better value for money. I know it's only 20 quid, but that's not the point.
I know what you're saying. I think it would have been difficult for them to give you 10 hours of this game.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how long the game is. I don't know if you know how long it actually...
About 16 hours. Okay.
So what they could have done, they could have given you the demo that would have been banded around IGN and other people that would have played a nice chunk of it to see what they feel about it. But yeah, sorry, EA. And I think a lot of people I know will probably... I think I've heard rumblings of other people in the same boat saying, well, you can shove it.
Yeah.
Anyway, apart from that, Mo, I've done that now, so...
Well, like I said, I wasn't bothered about what they did with EA Access because I'd already stopped the subscription to it. Because I was thinking, well, the only game, really, that I've played on EA Access that isn't already on Game Pass or hasn't been given on a Plus was Mass Effect. And I've already got that on 3 platforms. Anyway.
Well, the only reason I kept EA going because I think, well, I might want to play this game, give it a bit of a browse, but it's not happening now, is it? So then forget it.
Yeah. So. Well, you got your walking simulator.
It's a fantastic game, fantastic. I know I knocked it earlier, but I take that back.
Yeah, you did. You gave me a hard time over it.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on then. Unless you've got anything else to add.
Not really. I'm okay.
Okay, in that case then, we'll go on to movies, TV and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
All right, movies, TV and streaming, and we have a few bits of news, actually. First off, Dwayne Johnson has announced that Black Adam will arrive in December 2021. He's confirmed that the film should start shooting sometime next summer. Black Adam, if you don't know,
Sorry, that sounds like you said Blackadder.
Black Adam.
Thank you. It's all right.
Is, in at least the comics, a dark twin of Shazam, and has traditionally been a villain as a character, but in the comics recently, he's been trying to get redemption and being a good guy. So Dwayne Johnson's confirmed that he wanted to play the character in a Shazam film way back in 2014, but after a few years of development, the decision was made to split the character's origin stories and get the Billy Batson Shazam story told first.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to do the next one?
Okay, so Mark Wahlberg joins Tom Holland in Uncharted. Now, I still think this is a long way off. I know this has been something that people have been after for quite a while now, isn't it?
It is.
So we're talking about Uncharted, the PlayStation game. So the film adaptation from the Uncharted game has been in the works now for so long that even Mark Wahlberg, once attached to it as a central character as Nathan Drake, is now joining the film to play his mentor and figure to current star Tom Holland. Its current incarnation will follow the younger days of the treasure hunter Nathan Drake, whose journeys will be around to investigate historical mysteries. So, Tomb Raider then, yeah?
Yeah.
So Wahlberg's playing Victor Scully Sullivan, a fellow fortune seeker whose businessman who serves the mentor to figure to Drake. So, yeah, I don't know. It's we'll see.
I think it's an unusual choice because, you know, as I said, Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be playing Nathan Drake, and now he's Scully.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, you know, maybe him as a young Uncharted, it didn't fit.
I can't really imagine Mark Wahlberg with a cigar and a moustache the way that Sully does, though.
Who knows? I haven't played Uncharted for so long now. I can't even remember playing the games. It's been so long.
But equally, as a character, I can't say... I don't get me wrong, I like Tom Holland, but I can't see how it's going to work with him being Nathan Drake.
Well, he has that young look about himself still, compared to Mark Wahlberg, and therefore, being a young Nathan Drake, I think it would probably fit much better, to be honest.
And plus the fact, it also means that the studio has Tom Holland signed up for years and years and years to continue to do Nathan Drake if the film's a success.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure it will be, but I mean, Tomb Raider always had a bit of a stuttery start, didn't it, in the movies?
Yeah.
And it's never really shone so greatly as the games did, to be honest.
Well, there was only ever 2 movies anyway.
Well, it depends on point of view. It depends if you like the other, you know.
What other?
The reboot as well.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about the reboot.
Yeah, I've not even seen it, so...
I was just thinking of Angelina Jolie. No, yeah. The reboot, I didn't really rate the reboot that much.
No.
Let's put it this way, it's one of the very few films that I've been to see at the cinema that I haven't owned on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, last bit of news is Beverly Hills Cop 4. So, Beverly Hills Cop 4 has been going through development hell for about a decade.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
It is about a decade since it was initially announced. And the idea of the 4th Beverly Hills Cop movie has been something that both Paramount and Eddie Murphy and also the producer Jerry Bruckheimer have been trying to get together with very, very little success. So the latest news is that there's been a deal between the studio and Netflix, who will be leading the charge to make the long anticipated film.
If it's better than if it can be better than number 3, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a high bar to go over.
Probably not. I mean, I know he's been busy with Coming to America.
Yeah.
Of late, which I can't wait to see. That should be interesting.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So but if Netflix can pull it off correctly, then all good to them. You know, they can do better than some others, you know, that we can't see for another 6 months maybe. Some that are already out. Dare I say another service that is out already that we won't see till March next year. You know, disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm really hacked off about that because we've got an interesting question that comes up later on about the Disney streaming service and about The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
What, The Mandalorian?
No, I haven't. No, I've had a little sneaky look here and there, but no, I haven't really delved into it yet.
No. Well,
due to
I
the
think
fact
we'll
it's
have...
naughty. We're not supposed to do it, are we?
No, but that's what the question's about, so we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So cinema releases, do you want to do those?
Okay, so we have cinema release. So from the 22nd of November, we have Frozen 2, Harriet, 21 Bridges, Ophelia, Them That Follow, Judy and Punch, Greener Grass, La Belle Equo, and Blue Story.
So 21 Bridges is the one with, I forgot what his name is, but basically Black Panther.
Okay.
Where he's a cop.
Yeah, and Frozen 2 is Frozen 2. So.
Yeah.
Which is heavily been advertised with the Christmas idea for Iceland doing their Christmas advert.
Yes, and what's the connection between Frozen 2 and The Good Place?
Yes, it's, what's the name, isn't it? It's
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, I did know that, yeah.
Yeah, she does the voice for one of the characters on Frozen 2, and she's the main character on The Good Place.
Yeah.
Okay, so Blu-ray DVD releases. There's a few. If you liked Billions, there's season 4 on Blu-ray and DVD, or seasons 1 to 4. There's Billy Connolly Made in Scotland, Clockwise, which I think is the old John Cleese movie.
Yeah, she's a school teacher.
Yeah. Fawlty Towers, the complete collection on Blu-ray. First Men in the Moon, Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Looking forward to that one. And I think that's about it from what I've seen. There's any that you wanted to add?
Oh, let me have a look. The Stone Killer, isn't that Charles Bronson by any chance?
I don't know, I thought you'd have gone for Killer Croc and Killer Croc 2.
Actually, I haven't seen the last of the Annabelle movies yet. I must admit I haven't seen the last one of those, but I don't mind those. And
there's The Lion King as well. I missed out that. That's on, all formats, effectively.
Yeah. What else have we got there? No. A bit quiet, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But leading up to Christmas, you think there'd be a hack load of them, but they always re-release the Christmas ones in the shops, and they'll have a big array of those for everyone to buy that if they haven't already bought them yet, you know.
Yeah, or rebuy them because they can't find a version of it and they want to watch Love Actually again.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Or Elf.
Or Elf.
I've got that on DVD anyway, so
yeah, so have I. Everybody's got that on DVD. I think it's a criminal offence not to own it on DVD, isn't it?
It's never been out on Blu-ray though, is it? I don't think.
No, I don't think it has.
No.
Anyway, cinema charts, we have The Good Liar, The Addams Family, at number 3, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, at number 2, Aeronauts, and at number 1, Joker.
Interesting. Okay, DVD charts, Blu-ray. At 5, we have Captain Marvel. At 4, we have Avengers Endgame. At 3, we have Toy Story 4. At 2, is it Apollo 11? Okay.
Yeah, it must be some sort of 50th anniversary.
And number 1 is Yesterday, today.
Yeah. And I want to see that, actually. I think that looks really good.
What, today? Yesterday?
Yesterday.
You want to see that today or tomorrow?
Probably tomorrow. Or next week.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure I've looked at that yet. So,
it's about a guy who gets knocked out and then wakes up, and the world has never heard the Beatles, and he knows all of the Beatles songs.
Yes, I remember that. That must have come out donkeys ago, didn't it, in America then?
Well, 6 months ago.
I remember hearing that story about that donkeys ago. It feels like.
Yeah, it was about 6 months ago.
Yeah. So interesting.
Anyway, what have you been watching?
So, I've been watching a little bit of TV, but I think out of the ordinary there with what's going on with The Flash and Arrow. But I've watched a couple of movies over the last night. I think I watched them 2 in a trot. Might have been last night. So, the first one, we're going to go back to 2015. And the second time I've seen a movie about these two guys, which is the Cray twins. And this is called Legend. So what's interesting about this movie is that the twins, so Ronnie and Reggie, are both played by the same actor, which is Tom Hardy. And in there as well, you've got Christopher Eccleston plays the copper that's always up behind them. Emily Browning, who's in, I can't think of the top of my head now what it was now. The film she was in, where she was in a mental institution. She plays in it as well. Overall, though, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I'm a big fan of the other Craze movie that came out back in the 80s with the two guys from Spandau Ballet. They did a pretty good version. But this knocks it out of the park. It shows a bit more in depth into some of the stuff they got up to, because obviously in this film you see him bounce in and out of jail a few times as well. And well worth watching. And hats off to Tom Hardy playing both these roles, because you don't notice the cut in this and how they did it. Do you know what I mean? Have you seen this at all?
No.
Oh, I don't know if you're a gangster type of movie fan.
No, not really my preferred genre.
Yeah, but really, really good. So that was that one. The second film is a film from 2018. And to be honest, this is like any other movie he's done. So this is called The Commuter, and this was Liam Neeson. So he's in his day job going to his insurance company in New York, day in, day out, and a woman come up against him to ask if he'll do just one thing. This leads on to trying to find someone on the train he's on, and it's Liam Neeson being Liam Neeson, to be honest. He starts off a bit poorly, but it's like any other film that he's done where he can kick ass. It's interesting. But yeah, that was quite good as well. I was going to watch the last one he did, which got into hot water a bit, didn't it? The last one he did, but
yeah,
because that is free. That's free to watch on Amazon Prime at the moment. But so actually, I think this one was as well, The Commuter. But well worth a watch. Actually, this came out January last year, January 2018. So yeah, so just over a year ago. So yeah, what about yourself? You watched anything interesting?
Yeah, I caught up completely with The Arrow, Supergirl, and The Flash.
Okay.
So I've watched all of those now. But I also watched a limited series on Netflix, which is called The Island. Have you heard of this?
No, I don't think so.
Right, so the premise of the show, because it's about 3 or 4 episodes, is a group of people, I think there's 8 or 12 of them, wake up on an island. They are 39 steps apart from each other.
Yeah.
And they have no memory of who they are or how they got where they are. And
there's been a few sort of TV shows and with this sort of vein idea.
Have there?
Yeah, well, not
was Lost.
Yeah,
but that was different. That was a plane crash. This is quite different. And anyway, it's one of those things of they've got to sort out what the mystery of the island is, aka a bit like Lost. But the film is not like Lost, or the series is not like Lost.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, actually, as a one-off sort of like limited show. It took everything in a very interesting direction.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil it for people because I think once you know that's it, for this one. But basically, the people who were on the island aren't getting on very well. Some people are, some people aren't. Some people are absolute psychos.
Yeah.
So if you want something quite interesting, a little bit different to watch, try watching The Island. So it's been advertised quite heavily on Netflix as well, so you probably have seen it.
I think, unless it may have passed me by, I don't think I have, to be honest, but okay.
Yeah, but it's not island as in IS, it's I-land.
Yeah. Because there is a film called The Island, I think.
Yeah,
There's a
but
couple.
that
Yeah.
one is Ewan McGregor.
That's right.
And that is very different because that's Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, where they're trying to, they escape the island.
Mm.
But this one, it's really interesting. So there's stuff around this deserted island that these people are on.
Yeah.
And from, strange trinkets to weapons and that sort of thing. And it's all there to just make them more and more confused.
Yeah. I've actually, while you've been doing this, I have all 6 seasons of Lost.
Right.
Digitally. So that's handy. So we'll go back to have a look at that.
Yeah. I think we should do a Lost special.
Yeah, that's a lot of episodes there to maybe have a look at.
Well, maybe if we say, 6 months' time and we go through all of Lost.
38 gigs worth.
Yeah, well, I've got the whole set on Blu-ray.
Oh, have you? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So if you're going to watch that, I can watch it and then we can try and keep in sync with it.
Yeah, and also I think the album's coming out in December to be released. If you ever look on Mondo's website, you'll see it there. It's lovely looking.
Right. Okay. So so that's The Island. I recommend having a watch of it because it is interesting. I've watched 2 films actually. I've only put one in the notes, but the first film I watched last night was Jumanji 2.
Yeah.
With Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Karen Gillan and Jack Black, and really enjoyed that. Oh, and Kevin, is it Kevin Hart? I can never remember what his name is. But anyway, he's it's basically a reimagining of Jumanji from the Robin Williams sort of time, but rather than being a board game, Jumanji is actually a video game, and therefore the whole story revolves around video game rules. So, for example, they have 3 lives.
Yeah.
And they all have their superpowers and whatever, when they go into the video game. So there's this one nerdy kid who's, looks like he's Jewish, got black curly hair, and, looks a very geeky kind of kid. And his character in the video game is Dwayne Johnson, like the polar opposite of who he is. And, The Rock does lots of his, poses and eyebrows and all of that sort of stuff that he's very good at doing. And Karen Gillan, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. It's really, it's a good laugh. It's a good family sort of film, to watch on while you're wrapping the Christmas presents, which is exactly what we were doing.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, getting well prepared. And then the other movie that I watched was Avengers Endgame. So, I decided to have a rewatch of it because of all of the Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, in the press saying that it's not cinema.
It's just CG, isn't it, this film?
No, it's not just CG. But whether I've come to the conclusion whether or not you like these movies or not, and evidently neither Martin Scorsese or Francis Ford Coppola have actually watched them, but they're criticising the movies, which to me just makes them look like idiots.
They're still gods though in their own right, though.
But don't forget, back in the day, when they were the young directors, the older directors were saying what they produced was rubbish.
I don't know, I think a lot of this, I have to look back into the...
They did. I was reading an article about all of the times.
I think it's all sort of blown out of proportion, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Marvel, what they've done with the MCU is they've done something really, really very clever by linking in all of the movies with each other.
And made an absolute fortune out of it as well. So they can't have gone wrong, really. If they've made that much money, then it doesn't matter what you say. They pulled it out of the bag, didn't they, really?
Yeah. But
whether you like them or not.
When you look at the Marvel movies, they've made a series of movies that is unparalleled in cinema history. You have a collection of 21, 22 movies interwoven with each other, creating a larger cinematic history, and they overlap each other. The consequences of one movie have a feedback into the consequences for the next movie. And what that does in terms of this is gives you more of an investment into the characters. Now, we know that the comic book characters, we know it's fantasy, and we know also that because it's comic book characters, I think that there can be a lot of snobbery in terms of what the content is. And I just think that that's quite pathetic if people are just judging it on that. But the way that these films work, you know, they tap into something from when we were kids and we would read Spider-Man comics and Captain America and all of that sort of stuff. And it brings it up so that we can see it, but also that we can enjoy it with our kids as well. I mean, me and my son, we just sat and watched the movie sat next to each other, just really enjoying it. And it's sort of those moments that are really, really special. And I think that things like Avengers Endgame and all of the Marvel franchise, I think that's what they do. They bring that sort of like shared enjoyment experience in terms of a movie. I'm not saying that, you know, Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola make bad movies. They're not. They are, you know, kings of the profession. But I also think that the kings of their profession who are blinded because of their age and their stubbornness in terms of the way that the cinema world is now. I'm not knocking their achievements. They've made fantastic contributions to cinema, but I don't think that they understand modern cinema in quite the same way, much like their peers who were older didn't understand their filmmaking when they started making films, and they were criticised for developing the films that they did. Because they were, you know, their films were criticised, called rubbish, all that, exactly what they're doing. And that, to me, makes them quite hypocritical when they've gone through that to be doing it to other people.
Yeah.
But, you know, each to their own. But, you know, the other thing as well I love about these films is all of the little Easter eggs that they put in. Because if you are a real nerd about it, there is so many different layers of depth that you can go into in these movies, you know, right down to the little details, like, you know, what's on a signpost or what certain numbers mean. So, for example, on Endgame, the number where Ant-Man's van is stored in that storage has a significance because that relates to I think it was the number of the Earth that they were on. Yeah. You know, and it's all little things like that. That's incredible, you know, attention to detail. And,
yeah,
you know,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, for me, yeah, it's still cinema. Because cinema is a shared experience of, you know, something that is, you know, special. Films should be special to me.
And they're individual as well, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's very much an individual experience. Not everyone has the same ideal on how things on films go, but, you know, you'll get something out of them.
Yeah, not only that, though, but people like different types of, you know, everybody likes different genres. You like horror. You like horror, you like sci-fi, you know, as two of your favourite sort of types of movie. I'm not so fond of horror, but, you know, I'll watch it. I just don't get as excited about it as you do. Whereas sci-fi is my sort of like probably main focus.
Well, they all blend into one sometimes, some of these movies, to be honest. You like both genres and you get a sci-fi horror film sometimes.
Like Alien and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, so.
Yeah, or, you know, you get a romance with like Cyberpunk and that with Ready Player One. You know, with romance. So it's, yeah, there is a lot of like main genre and then subgenre within movies.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that was Avengers Endgame. I wanted to sort of like look at it, trying to think about what is it that makes a movie special? And that's what makes these sort of movies special to me.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's it.
Anyway, unless you've got anything else to talk about, shall we go on to listener questions?
Yep, when you're ready.
Okay.
John, what's happening to us?
All right, so listener questions for this week, and Mark is starting us off as always, and he's asking, what has been your best gaming bargains and biggest wastes of money?
I don't know about bargain. The waste of money keeps cropping up with the same question, with the same game, to be honest.
Fallout 76?
No. I would say no. I would say...
We Happy Few?
Yeah, absolutely. That's always going to crop up. That's going to be the bane of my life, that game. You know that.
Surely, though, that the Fallout game must be up there with that.
Not far off it. It's a huge disappointment to what it could have been. And
it's proper upset a lot of people as that.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Especially with this Fallout First thing.
Well, the idea of paying for your own servers as well now.
Yeah, but servers that people could go on to, hack into, nick your stuff, and if it doesn't nick your stuff, then the server forgets what you had anyway.
Yeah, that's right. It's a weird one, isn't it, how that goes?
Yeah.
What about you? Have you got anything, a real waste of money? Because I know you've bought a hell of a lot of games more than I have, but...
Yeah, I think probably the biggest waste of money in terms of a game was... what was that game that you really liked that I really despised?
Fallout.
No, actually, I can think of one that was more of a waste of money than that.
I know another one. Mass Effect 3 was a bit of a poor state.
No, I like Mass Effect 3. No, I'm thinking of... I can see the character as well. The cartoon one. You know, the one from Microsoft that they were tooting about before.
What, Crackdown?
No, the one that's done in a 1950s cartoon style. It's like a platformer sort of thing.
Oh, I can't.
Or a left-to-right scroller. Because they made it look beautiful, but they forgot to put in gameplay as far as I was concerned. That one, I can't remember for the life of me, what that is called. But yeah, that game, I hated that. In terms of gaming bargains, have you had any?
Not of late. I mean, sometimes you pick up something a bit cheaper than what you think normally, you're quite happy with. But we'll see what happens in Black Friday, see if anything springs to mind that, is worth seeing.
Yeah. I think probably the best gaming bargains I used to get was when I worked in Darlington, I used to go into Morrison's on a lunchtime, and what they used to do was they used to mark down video games to £1.
Yeah.
When they were like 40 quid everywhere else. And I used to go in and buy them. Whether or not I wanted them or not, it was £1. I wasn't losing anything particularly. But, I ended up collecting so many games. And what I might do sometimes is pick up 2 or 3 copies, go down to CEX, and Part X them in there, and I'd get more money than I actually paid for them. So, yeah, I used to do that quite a bit. That was a good gaming bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay. Do you want to do his next question?
So, how much will the price of the new console next year will affect which one you get first? That's
going to be completely inelastic for you, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to go for one probably, not both.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't know. In my head, I say Xbox straight away. But then again, it might depend. I'm not saying this is definitely what it's going to do, but it might depend on what's going to come out on the machine in the first place.
I think you'll get Xbox.
99.9%, but I mean, I don't know what PlayStation are going to.
If you don't get an Xbox, it'll be the end of the world as we know it, and there'll be pestilence and floods.
Yeah,
earthquakes.
We'll see. I mean,
the wrath of God will be heard.
Yeah, sorry if you can hear Yoda barking in the background. I don't know what he's going up to. He's probably mental.
He's
breakdown at the minute.
Probably doing his Force exercises.
He's probably thinking, where's Mandalorian? I want to watch
it. I reckon that the new price of the consoles will be PlayStation 450 and Xbox 500.
Will that be a big difference in its selling it?
It could be. And I think my first love is Xbox. I like the PlayStation, but I don't like the controller. Having said that, though, my bigger love than both of them is PC.
So it doesn't make a difference anyway, does it?
Well, I am actually sort of struggling of, do I actually get a new console, or do I get a new PC? My PC at the moment will run everything with no problem, but I do get a little bit of juddery and lag on some things because, I've only got 8 cores, only got 8 cores on my processor. So I've been looking at like the Ryzen 9, which is 16 cores. So it should make things like streaming games and that a lot easier.
Yeah.
So
true.
that's my thought process. And I would have to spend a couple of $1,000 to get a PC how I wanted it, and that's if I built it myself.
True.
Because I'd want to go either 2070 Super or 2080 Super as a graphics card. If it's a 2080 Super, then you're looking at like $1,000 for the graphics card.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money. So that's why I'm kind of thinking, a 2070 Super, because what I didn't realise until I've looked into it recently is because I thought, I'm quite alright, I've got a 1080 on my machine, so that'll be about the equivalent of a 2070. No, it's not. It's about the equivalent of a 2060 Super. Which came as a bit of a shock, to be honest, because I thought it was much more, better than it is, but the number of things to process each second significantly jumped on the next generation of ones, and plus you get the ray tracing.
True. It's funny, I just think, if I was to go for a new console, I really want some really new great games out of the box, if you know what I mean, to be available.
Well, I think that's where Xbox will come in, because you'll have all of your Game Pass stuff.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean something new that will help sell the box.
Here's a question for you.
I know we're going to have the new Halo, which is probably going to be gorgeous and be great, but I like something. I like to get my teeth into a good story.
Here's a question for you. If Xbox released xCloud on the PlayStation as a platform, would you get a PlayStation rather than an Xbox?
Depends on, I don't know, because I could then keep the console I got now and stream that on the new PlayStation, but that defeats the point anyway, to be honest. I don't think that would be a game changer.
No.
It's just, I'd like to be the point where when you go for a new console, you've got like maybe four games that you really want to, that's just brand spanking new that are coming out that you've not seen before. And something to get your teeth into it and not just sit there and play games you've already owned. But, it's, I say, we'll see what, I'm sure there'll be some more games to be talked about between now and then.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I think, to be honest, there is a lot to be said for not jumping in on day one and jumping in about 2 or 3 months later, because that's enough time for them to have fixed any of the minor problems that they have with the consoles. And it also gives more of a window for new stuff to arrive. So, in terms of it...
So that might be a decision come E3.
Yeah. Because I have to admit, while the lineup for Xbox for the next year looked good, it didn't blow me away. And I've not sat there thinking, I can't wait for Project Scarlet to come out and what they're going to be offering there. I'd be quite happy sticking with the X at the moment.
You see, I must admit, when I first got my PlayStation, I caned some of the big games that I'd never played before. And that was a great experience for me.
But you're not going to have that this time.
No. So, well, we'll see. It may be, let's wait till later and play, the machine we got now is alright.
Yeah.
But we don't, is there something that's really going to blow you away that you would love to play?
Mm.
Is there an IP that you'd like to see resurrected, maybe they would give it another chance that would decide for you?
Dead Space,
BioShock game, Fable.
Well, BioShock, there's rumours that might be about to resurface.
Yeah, and Fable's been talked about for God knows how long as well, isn't it?
Well, I think everybody was expecting Fable to be announced this year, and it wasn't. XO19.
Mm. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So, do you want to do Jason's?
Okay, so Jason Toon, he says, with Disney Plus still a few months out, do you think it's okay to pirate shows like The Mandalorian because there's no way to watch it legally? Interesting question.
It is. This was the question I was referring to earlier on.
I know, yeah, exactly.
I think that goes down to your moral conscience sort of thing. The businesses don't care about the British's customers, obviously, because what they would think is, well, actually, we need to be able to give access to people in the UK to The Mandalorian.
Couldn't they even, alright, if not on the same month, say Christmas time or something, maybe released it, that would have been quite acceptable.
But the problem is that now you're going to have loads and loads and loads of videos talking about The Mandalorian, and it's probably going to be over by the time we get to see it.
Well, that's why I have a quick sneaky listen and then just switch off, because it's anything you can do. But then on the other tail end of this, the flip of the coin will be is that there will be quite a few people that have watched this already, but then won't subscribe to Disney Plus. So Disney loses out in the first place.
Yeah, but I think that those people, whether or not it was going to be on Disney Plus or not, would have probably have downloaded it.
Well, if you wanted the best, like me, if you wanted the best image, best sound, you could have subscribed for a couple of months or whatever it takes to get to watch the show and then see how it went. Because, all the Star Wars movies were in 4K on there as well. Mm. So there's a pull off the back of that, isn't it?
I wonder when they're going to release those on Blu-ray.
Don't even go there. That would be way off.
Yeah, like Christmas.
No. It's never going to happen at the moment. Disney Plus are going to rake in the money this way for doing it instead of releasing on disc.
But why? But don't forget, here, they can release it on ultra high def and then still get the money because people want it for The Mandalorian.
But if it was going to come out at Christmas, we'd known months ago if that was the case.
Unless it's a late announcement.
No, I know. If you did, I'd eat my hat, as they say.
Okay.
Anyway.
So do you think it's okay to pirate it then?
That's your own decision.
Yeah. I think it is very much down to your own sense of morality and whatever. I was seriously considering trying to get it on Kodi or whatever, because I've never used Kodi, and I thought, do you know what, I don't really care that much. I'll watch it when I can, when I can watch it legitimately. And if it's spoiled, it's spoiled.
Well, you can just what not to read, what to read anyway.
Well, let's put it this way. I went to go and watch the movie Titanic, and I knew what happened in the end. It didn't spoil the movie.
No, but I think some of the surprises you're going to get in this, which could be a throwback, will be quite nice to see firsthand.
Yeah.
But
I've never been that bothered anyway, personally.
But to be honest, though, I'm hearing, even the second episode, I'm hearing really great reviews about it, which even makes it even great even more. But, it's what it is.
But interestingly, the second episode's only like 30 minutes.
They're only about 36 minutes long each, aren't they? 38 minutes.
I thought they were normal episodes, but for some reason the second episode's like really short.
I wonder if we'll get them as a binge watch in on Disney Plus in the UK.
I think you should if they're going to do it that way.
Would be good, wouldn't it? Okay.
Anyway, Nick Wilson said, so Shenmue 3 is finally out this week, so Nick will be very happy about that, being a fanboy of Shenmue. I expect it will get mixed and poor reviews, and I couldn't care less. Is there any games that you've had that you didn't care what the reviews or anyone else think because you're going to love it no matter what?
Well, you tried to with Bethesda.
Yeah.
But then again, to be honest, even though in the Bioshock games were released, after the first one, I wasn't bothered about the reviews. I wouldn't need to buy it. I would just buy it off the back of it straight away, you know.
Mm.
And I was right in my way.
Yeah.
Is there any games you can come across that you think similar to yourself?
Actually, there was, I don't know if you remember, but there was the film Wanted with McAvoy and Angelina Jolie.
I have that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've got that. But I've also got the video game of that.
Mm.
And it was so bad it was good. If you understand what I mean.
Sometimes you can get films that are like that are bad, but they are good maybe in your eyes only.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But the video game was like that as well. The movie was like that, and the video game was like that.
Mm.
But I enjoyed playing that game, but it got bad reviews.
Yeah. Okay. Should I do Craig then? So, Craig Hull. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is bloody awesome. It's bloody awesome. Blown him away in how good it is. The story, combat, characters, and the universe all there. Respawn delivered. What do you think? Challenge for hosts. See if you can limit reference to The Last Jedi. I know it wasn't you or what you wanted, but you got it. So I still love it and its message. Well, this is down to you, really, because I'm not even bothered at the minute.
Well, I think I've said everything that I can say about it. Yeah, it's a good game.
But is it better than The Last Jedi? If you were to sit and watch it.
Well, as I've said before, an episode of Coronation Street's better Star Wars than The Last Jedi, but...
Okay, we move on.
Thank you for the setup there.
Yeah.
So Craig's also asked, any features you're wishing for in the next gen, and he's hoping to announce for FreeSync or G-Sync support. It's great tech like witchcraft. So do you know what G-Sync is and FreeSync?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's all down to PC monitors as well, isn't it? So,
yeah,
to be honest, but because you don't get that a lot with TVs, do you?
No.
So I remember once hitting G-Sync on the Lego game, and it went nuts by accident.
Because you didn't have a G-Sync monitor.
No, I didn't. It just went bananas. It really. I thought it was on a drug or something.
Yeah. So if you don't know what it is, basically the way that monitors work is that they work at steady spaces of having your screen refreshed. So you know, 60 megahertz will refresh 60 times a second, for example. The way that processors work is some frames will be quicker to render than others. And what you end up doing with movement and whatever is you end up getting screen tearing on an image or juddering. If you're using just normal, output to your monitor, it improves the faster the refresh rate. So if you have like 144 megahertz 1 millisecond response time, it'll dampen that down. But the adaptive syncs of either FreeSync or G-Sync, FreeSync being AMD, G-Sync being NVIDIA, smooth that out quite considerably and reduce screen tear as well. Which is, it makes the games look an awful lot better. I mean, games like Destiny, they're like different games on the PC.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, yeah.
Even without G-Sync enabled or FreeSync. Let alone when you actually start putting that sort of stuff on. It's absolutely great. So that's what the technology does, and that is exactly what you would want if you had a gaming monitor or a TV that had adaptive sync on it so that you could play your games that way, because it would massively improve the graphics, or at least the refresh of the graphics. But I also am looking forward to the ray tracing that is supposed to be coming in the next gen as well, because that gives better ambient lighting. Because rather than lighting up objects, what it does is it calculates the vectors of lights from light sources and does, you know, the different types of surfaces and how that reflects light and all of that. That's all worked out by the processor. It's different to the way that it renders scenery at the moment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any features you're wanting?
Oh, me? I don't know, really. I mean, some of the stuff there, obviously, some of the stuff they can be doing with the ray tracing, that's quite cool. What I do like is what the PlayStation's going to get that I don't think the Xbox will have, is the idea of, if you're not happy with, you want to buy a game that you only want to download one half of it, because it will allow you to do that, so you don't want to do the multiplayer, it will just give you that, and then when you finish, or the other idea is that if you've got the multiplayer and the story, once the story's done, it will delete it for you, but leave the multiplayer running in the background as well. That's quite a cool idea. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I also hope that they do is, on both of them, but especially Xbox, is vastly improve the streaming, the inbuilt streaming.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation's all right. It's just that they've got that border where it has the chat coming up wrong. They should have done some sort of hyphenation or dehyphenation of text on the lines, because it can get quite difficult to look at sometimes. And then on, obviously, Xbox, they've done all of the mixer support, but that's no good if you're a Twitch affiliate.
No.
You know, and the Twitch streaming does what it's supposed to, but no more and no less.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, that's the other thing I would like them to do.
Okay. So I think we've got another Star Wars question here, a bit popular at the moment.
Yeah.
So Paul Wilson is, do you think Disney and George Lucas will ever get together and work on a Star Wars project?
I think it'll be more likely that Rian Johnson would actually be able to produce a good Star Wars movie.
Well, and also at the moment, that remember that George Lucas actually sold it off. I still think that would never happen then.
I mean, George Lucas supposedly did, I think on the Force Awakens, have discussions with JJ about some stuff, and he was consulted on, but I don't, I can't see George really wanting to go back to that universe now. I think he's left it behind.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like, you know, your child that's moved to another country. You might keep in contact occasionally by, you know, Skype or messaging or sending Christmas cards, but you don't see each other all the time. I think that's what it's sort of like for him now.
Yeah.
As a metaphor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it's, yeah, I don't think it's, you know, sometimes things bury the hatchet, but there's so much Star Wars in the background with Disney themselves, they don't need George Lucas anyway.
No, they do need George Lucas, they just don't realise it.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, last question.
Yeah, so Paul Wilson, another game, says, do you keep your physical games, or do you tend to sell them, trade them in? Other than Nintendo Switch games, I tend to flog my games as soon as possible to minimise any loss, or ideally, at least break even.
Sometimes I've done that. I mean, I've got a few games now that really should just be sold anyway. Some you might not get a lot of money from it, so then sometimes it's worth no point. It's like Destiny 2 I've got sitting there, but I don't need it anymore. Because once you've got the latest version, you don't need a disc. So I could just sell it on, but I don't think you get a lot of money for it, to be honest.
No. You get pence for it.
Yeah, and I also got, I think I got the first, you know when the Xbox came out, the latest edition?
Yeah.
As in this iteration. I've got Forza 7 sitting there.
Yeah, I've got the Forza games sat there as well.
But you'd probably get a fiver for it if you're lucky.
Yeah. You won't get very much for it at all.
No.
I mean, it's like I've bought, you know, games that have turned up on Game Pass or, you know, the game of one of the Xbox games of gold or whatever. And by that time, You know, it's like I've got Rage 2, for example. I've got that on disc.
Yeah.
I'm not going to really get a lot for the disc version of it now.
No.
So, yeah, I do part X or trade in stuff, but you never get very much for it.
No. So, yeah, it's I know if you're gonna buy like Call of Duty, play the story of it, and then trade it back in, get a bit of money back for it, and then move on, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah. But otherwise, anyway.
No.
Okay, well, thanks, guys, for the questions. Hope you enjoyed the answers. So, Steve, do you want to do your outro?
Just before we do that,
yeah.
It's nearly 9 o'clock, isn't it, as well? And in a minute, on BBC One, will be...
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. And I know the rest of the family will be sitting here watching I'm a Celebrity right now, but I might actually stay in here and watch this. I think.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see that as well.
Yeah, well, that's recording, and I want to see a couple of people that have to suffer as celebrities. We all have our wicked ways about us, haven't we?
Yeah.
Anyway, so best way to contact me will be on Twitter @Steve007. My PSN ID is TheRealSteve007, and Xbox is Steve007.
And for me, you can search for me as HERJUK on, well, everything: PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Twitch, Twitter, you name it. If you want to get in contact with the podcast, just email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. Facebook group, popculturegamers.co.uk. Our Twitter handle is popculturegamer, and you can visit our website at popculturegamers.podbean.com. And don't forget, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, and you can even listen to it on your Amazon Echo. So, and if you want to support the show, then please do retweet, etc., the show just to get us out there, and give us a review as well. It's been a while since we've had any reviews on iTunes. And don't forget, we also have a Patreon, guys, because hosting's coming up. Other than that, that's it for another week. So it's a good night from me.
And a good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.